I said lay down, Jimmy, don't put that candle in your eye. Life was meant for living, but I fear that you might die if you don't get another drink. Go fix it in your sink, 'cause I fear your bottle has run dry. Yes, I fear, Lord, I fear your bottle has run dry. Lay down, Jimmy, don't get up no more. Your trousers, they get dirty when you sit down on the floor, and you must get another drink. Go fix it in your sink, 'cause I fear your bottle has run dry. Yes, I fear, Lord, I fear your bottle has run dry. Oh, now Jimmy's in the shower, and it's been there for an hour, and we don't know why he's there, and we don't know if he's dead, but you must get another drink. Go fix it in your sink, 'cause I fear your bottle has run dry. Yes, I fear, Lord, I fear your bottle has run dry. Said lay down, Jimmy, don't get up no more. Your trousers, they get dirty when you sit down on the floor, and you must get another drink. Go fix it in your sink, 'cause I fear your bottle has run dry. Yes, I fear, Lord, I fear your bottle has run dry. 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 All right. Cool. Take a little bit of this extra distraction away from the front here. Oh. Well, good. You know, it's nice. I'm happy to be here in the hot days of the summer. This is like, I've been waiting for this. Everywhere I've been, it's been rainy and cold. And it was like, who thought that I would come to Winnipeg and it'd be 100 degrees on Sunday? It's not the thing I was thinking. I used to go to New Orleans always in this time of year. And people would say, Vic, what are you crazy? What are you doing down there? As everybody goes everywhere else. And I'm like, no, I like it. I like it down here because everybody looks like shit. And I don't have to worry about nothing. I wake up, I just look, I look in the mirror, I go, God, I'm doing good today. Yeah. Well, if I could just keep my head up like the trees down on Henderson Swamp and make another day that'll be okay, and I won't just start another chump. My head's been wet with envy, my feet's been tied with sin. Sweet smell of death is upon my breath. For every stroke I swim, my history forgets me. Notify my next of kin, 'cause I fear it's true that you're headed hang to if you knew all the trouble I was in. But if I could just keep my head up like the trees down on Henderson Swamp, make another day, that'll be okay, and I won't just die another chump. The pennies, they've all left my pockets. My guitar gently weeps, along with the ladies that I left behind, who now line the old back streets. Well, the captain caused confusion, and the water come a-rushing on in. I looked to heaven and asked in fear. I said, please, Lord, tell me, how did I get here? He said, young man, you had to be angry. Young man, you had to be free. Yup, sounds correct, and I hope that you're happy. I'm sinking on deep into the sea. But if I could just keep my head up, if I could just keep my head up, I said, if I could just keep my head up, Lord, like the trees down on Henderson Swamp, like the trees down on Henderson Swamp, like the trees down on Henderson Swamp. You guys got swamps up here? You got swamps? Yeah? At what is like? Interlake. Well, see, like the thing about swamps that I learned, right? There's a difference between a swamp and a marsh. And I didn't know this at the time even. Well, maybe I had just learned it. And it was like, the thing about a swamp is that a swamp's got trees that grow from under the water. And they poke their heads up. And so I was like, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, man, you know, you see these trees. They have a tough time, right? And it's like, I think I got a tough time. These guys start growing under the water, right? That's optimism, you know? I have problems being optimistic, and you know, could you imagine if you were like, yeah, one of these days, maybe 3-4 years from now, maybe 6, 7, 8, I'll get up above that water, right? I'm a tree, you know? Anyway, I learned different stuff about the trees too. I mean, you probably know about it. But what's those one? The mangroves? You know about mangroves? Mangroves are the weird ones, right? They like float around, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna like grow roots down into the water, or they got these arms that reach out, and they'll grow an arm that they know it's gonna help them. It's gonna help them stay up, but for a while it's gonna make them heavier. There's so much poetry in life, right? Nature's full of poetry. Anyway. Anyway, that has nothing to do with any song that I'm going to sing. I don't think. I haven't written the nature is poetry. You know, I've written that song yet. It has a lot of good lessons for you and me. Better than a lot of things people told me. Let's see. What can I sing you? I can sing you... Yeah, it's talking about nature, talking about the beginning of things, optimism. All right, I'll sing you a song. This is how I figure out my set list. I figure out my set list with the help of you and my incoherent rambling. It leads me in directions, you know? Adam and Eve. Looking now, you never would believe. It it was you and me, and apples on the trees. But I remember when we was Adam and Eve. Deep down, honey, you can't say you don't. Going down some old familiar road, we could reminisce if you just talk to me, and we'd remember when we was Adam and Eve. We remember when this town was empty, when the empty lots were never ending. Before that I can't say, not till that 7th day. But baby, I remember you when you was clay. And everything before, we were two before this world was born, long before the fog, just you, me, and the dog. Do you remember when we was Adam and Eve? 'Cause I remember when we was Adam and Eve. I remember when we was Adam and Eve. All right, you get it. I'm not a creationist. It's metaphor. I was trying to tell a priest that one time, right? And I was like, yeah, but Father, it's metaphor, right? It's metaphor. And he goes, I'm sorry, but yeah, you have to believe that it's the truth. And I'm like, no. I'm like, but the Bible. I'm like, but Father, the Bible, it's metaphor, right? It's like, it's a poem. It's a big, beautiful poem. Yes, you could say it was a poem. It's a beautiful poem, but it's a true poem. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to. We'll get back and talk about this more. You know, altar boy life. You know, anybody here altar boys? Anybody? You were. Whoa, heavy. Yeah. See, back in my church, there was an altar girl one time. It caused a major problem back then. You know what I mean? Sexism was not even a word back then. Oh, see, go ahead, right? Episcopalians, Anglican, they were cool. They let me play Bob Marley songs in the Episcopalian church. You know that? Anyway, that's not a joke. That's true. So anyway, lead me down the road. Where do I go next here? I shall be released. That's good. I was like, I gotta have a song that has something vaguely to do with being an altar boy. And I'm like, yeah, I shall be released. That's beautiful. You could also be released from class as an altar boy. I was set up for this musician life early on. They made me the bass player, in school, so I always got out of class because they were like, we need a bass player. There's only 2 of you in school. And then I became an altar boy, and they were like, there's a wedding this afternoon. There's a funeral. You got to get out of class. I'm like, hey, sorry, guys. I got to be out of here. They say every man could be replaced, but every distance is not near. So I remember every face of every man who put me here. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, I shall be released. Say every man needs protection. Say that every man must fall. Still I swear I see my reflection somewhere so far above this wall. And I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, I shall be released. Every day here in this lonely crowd stands a man who's not to blame. Every day I hear him shouting so loud, just crying out that he's been framed. And I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, I shall be released. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, I shall be released. Yeah. I think the first time I heard that song was actually Nina Simone singing it. If you ever hear the Nina Simone version, it's beautiful. I had no idea it was a Bob Dylan song back then. Yeah, let's see. Let me play some rock and roll for you, some blues or something. I don't want you to think I'm like a one-trick pony over here, you know? The first time I came to Winnipeg, I don't know when the hell that was. It was many, many years ago. It was like 2000, maybe 2001, 2002. And let me tell you, the Slackers, we had a real good route that time. We drove from Texas to Winnipeg. If you draw that line, you look up the map, and we go through the middle of nowhere in the U.S. I mean, I don't even know what the hell states we went through. And we didn't stop too often. And at some point, I remember, I'm driving down the highway. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's asleep. And I see this little thing out in the horizon. And it's kicking up a lot of dust, and it's coming straight for the van. And I'm like, no way is this thing going to come anywhere near the van. I mean, it's so little. It's a little dot out there, you know. And sure enough, that thing rolled right. It ran right in front of the van. It came from being a little speck to being this huge horned creature. And I had to slow down, and I was like, is anybody else awake? Nobody else is awake to see this except me. Nobody knows the things that I have seen tonight. And they slowly started waking up. And I said, look out there in the horizon, do you see it? I think I see a light out there. I think I see a building or something. And they said, yeah, Vic, we're looking on the map. It looks like that's Winnipeg out there. And I said, all right, I'm coming. Bright lights, big city, gone to my baby's head. Bright lights, big city, gone to my baby's head. I try my best to tell her she never heard a word I said. I said, go on, pretty baby. You're gonna need my help someday. I said, go on, pretty baby. You know you're gonna need my help someday. You're gonna wish you listened to one single word that I say. Well, you know, she was this girl from the prairie, you know. And I remember she told me, she said, I don't belong here anymore, Vic. And I said, but come on, what do you mean? I said, don't you like tractors and caribou? It's lovely out here. She said, forget it, I'm going to the peg. I'm out of here, Vic. And I was like, well, can I come visit you at least? And I remember, yeah, she let me come visit a few times, you know, but she started dressing all fancy, and she had cooler friends than me. I don't know, it was... I said, go on, pretty mama, go on, knock yourself out. I said, go on, pretty baby. I said, go on, knock yourself out. You said you heard me talking, you don't know what I'm talking about. Bright lights, big city. Bright lights, big city. Bright lights, big city. They're gone to my baby's head. You know I try my best to tell you, you never heard a word I said. You know I try to tell you, woman, you never hear a word I say. Oh, I try to tell you, baby, you never hear a word I say. Ooh, bright lights, big cities. My God, I walked around Winnipeg yesterday. I know, I was impressed. What have I got to... We went to the sculpture garden. It was beautiful. I saw the park. I saw the downtown, you know. What the hell? What? How did this happen? That's what I want to know. Sometimes you really got to marvel at humanity, you know. It's just like, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, I think, what do you think? Here. Bam. We got it. And you're like, wow, it's another place to go. Oh, yeah, really? Well, it's one of those things where what's going on there? Oh, I don't know. I brought myself some ciders. That stuff, that makes me burp for like about 3 days. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you for the offer, though. I appreciate it. Last time went 2002. In 2002, let me tell you, oh my God, I was a different person back then. I'd be eating ice pops. What do you call the ice pops here? Freezies. 2002, I'd be sitting there. I'd be like, give me another Freezy. Now a Freezy would kill me. I'd have a headache. I'd be like, sorry guys, I can't play the set. I have a sugar headache. Like that. It's true. I met a guy in New York. He's a Chinese doctor. He won't meet me he doesn't have an office. So he meets me in an Indian restaurant. He takes my blood pressure over the table. You know, it's like one of those things. I'm like, is this really happening? This is my doctor. He's like, it's okay. We can meet here. We can even have lunch. It's good. He says, but well, you can't eat anything here though. You can't eat anything. Your system is too sensitive. And I'm like, but doc, what do? I feel like I need help. I need to exercise, huh? I need to go running. He goes, no, don't do anything like that. Don't be crazy now. What you need is hot baths. Relax. Heal yourself. And I'm like, but what have I done to myself? He goes, it's the food you've been eating, Vic. It's terribly dangerous what you've been doing to yourself. He says, don't you understand? Garlic is a very dangerous medicine. And I said, now you're speaking my language. I know what you're talking about. I said, I know what you're talking about, doctor. I said, garlic is the sun. He goes, well, I wouldn't have actually said that, but why don't you explain that to me? And I said, well, see, doc, I said, back when I was a kid, I tried to figure out how to make sense out of life. And I thought to myself, if I could organize food as if it was the solar system in order of importance, what would I put in the middle? I couldn't put like pasta in the middle, or rice, or something like that. I couldn't put milk in the middle. What would I put in the middle? There's only one thing my grandmother taught me could be the sun, the center of the galaxy. Garlic is the sun. And if you understand that kind of logic, suddenly the night sky makes so much more sense. And so does the supermarket. Suddenly you look and you see things differently. You see that red tomato on the shelf and you go, there is the planet Mars. You look up at the night sky, you see Saturn, and you go, Saturn, you could only be a beautiful big potato. Because you are important, Saturn. But those rings could only be cut by a cosmic potato peeler. But there's only one thing that makes sense, and that is garlic. Everything needs to revolve around something. And we know that garlic is the sun. I looked at Mercury and I thought to myself, I know what you are. You're a Brussels sprout. I thought about the planet Earth and I thought to myself, what could we be? What could we be? And then I thought to myself, I know what we are. We are a great cabbage. A great cosmic cabbage. Because you know how cabbage is? You know, you put it with meat, it tastes like it belongs there with meat. You can chop it up, you can make it into coleslaw. You let it pickle, it turns into sauerkraut. It's a world of potential. I was like, the earth is a cabbage. But what is a cabbage without garlic? A cabbage is it's its own, it's alright. but it ain't the center of a solar system. No, if there's one truth and only one, it is that garlic. Garlic is the sun. Garlic is the sun. Delicious. Don't get me started about kimchi. You know, kimchi is very nutritious. I thought to myself, what about Jupiter? Jupiter is like almost the solar system of itself, right? And it's amazing how much this kind of logic makes sense, because Jupiter, if it was a big giant onion, it's almost like garlic. You could, like, without garlic, you can get away with using an onion. And without our solar system, we could probably get away with just Jupiter. And you think about Jupiter, it's got all those moons. And the moons of an onion would be like scallions and shallots and like pickled onions. Things like that. But it ain't garlic. It ain't garlic. My grandmother, she told me, if you don't start with garlic, it's just groceries. You can't turn it into, you can't turn it into a meal without a little garlic. And of course, the Milky Way is not milk, but we know it's olive oil. And those shooting stars, little pieces of vermicelli. The stars, rice, asteroid meatballs. Way out in the far reaches of the solar system, maybe Pluto is a pickle. Because pickles, we're not quite sure if they're food, and people are actually arguing if Pluto's a planet anymore, right? So food, condiment, Pluto, planet. Neptune could be that can of sardines that you're just waiting to eat in the middle of the night with some lentil beans. You know what I mean? But if there's one truth we need to know, one truth and only one, people, tell me, you know the truth. What? Garlic is the sun. Good, you guys get me, huh? You get it. It happens once in a while where I'm singing that song and people look at me like, the fuck are you talking about? Garlic is the what? Yeah. Well, it's people who like to cook, you understand, you know? You need to orient yourself in some way. Let's see. Yeah, give me an idea. What next?
Parking lot.
Parking lot. All right, I like that. Now we're getting serious. These are serious songs. Things fall to pieces and I'm happy about it. Happy about it. Happy about it. Hear the people screaming in their respective houses. Respective houses. Respective mouses. I don't need to die in no field of green. No, I don't really care a lot. I don't know exactly what you've seen, but I'm at peace in your parking lot. I don't waste my summertime waiting for sunshine. I like the nighttime. I see my own light there inside the blue and rising summer moonlight. A blink of blue light in your room, right? I don't need to die for no castle wall or tears you cry for Camelot. I would be surprised if I cared at all, 'cause I'm at peace in your parking lot. Set your Moses on mountains high, ravens crying nevermore. Pouring my feet at some grand ravine, baby, I see more in your dresser drawer. Should I state my reasons just to have you hate me? You're so irate, man. You're so exterior. If you should discover them, please remember that I'm a member of nothing in particular. I didn't show for no royal grace or wars on economic thought. No, I wouldn't show just to run your race, man. Now I'm at peace in your parking lot. Well, father loses everything he worked his life for, so chalk another up to experience. Thoughtlessly and breathless falls the grand appearance, and keep aware of who's moving near us. I don't need to die in his field of green, no, I don't really care a lot. Would it be so wrong just to say that all I want is peace in your parking lot? I'm at peace in your parking lot, and I'm at peace in your parking lot. I'm at peace in your parking lot. Yes, it's even more appropriate, that song. I wrote that song when I was much younger, before I was living in a van. I had no idea what was in store for me. I was like, this is amazing, really? I'm going to spend 20 years driving around in a van? Wow, that's great. You never know. There's a certain thing, I mean, I'm sure as a songwriter, you know, that you have like psychic moments as a songwriter. And you like write a song and you think like, I don't know what the hell I wrote that song about. And then about 10 years later, you're like, oh shit, yeah, that's what it's about, huh? Yeah. And I remember thinking that one time, and I was like, that's why hip-hop guys write songs that are like, money, 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 money coming, money's coming in, you know, and you're like, oh, that's a song I should have wrote. Instead of, you know, like, you know, my song's like, heartbreak, heartbreak, frustration, you know? It's like, oh, here it comes. Oh, look, 10 years down the road, here it is. That song means so much. Confusion, confusion, what the fuck am I doing? Yes, indeed. And so I'll play a Bo Diddley song next. I said, hey, Mona. Ooh, Mona. Hey, 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 Mona. Is that your name? Ooh, Mona. Mona, baby, what you gonna do when I build my house right next to you? Mona, baby, will you come out front? Feel my heart go bumpity bump. Mona, baby, will you come outside? We'll go kissing on through the blinds. Said, hey, Mona. Ooh, Mona. Hey, 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 Mona. Said, ooh, Mona. Mona, baby, what you gonna do when I build my house right next to you? Mona, baby, it's no lie. Without your loving, I surely die. Without your loving, I surely die. Down the road, come a jungle partner. He was knocked down as he could be. He was knocked out loaded, and he said these words to me. Said 6 months, it ain't no sense He said 1 year, it ain't no time. I got friends down in Angola doing 1 year to 99. Well, I'm gonna pull my gun and ratchet, and I pawn my watch and chain, and I pawn my little darling, but the girl's too smart to sign her name. I said, hey, Mona, ooh, Mona, hey, Mona, ooh, Mona. I said, Mona, baby, it's no lie. Without your loving, I surely die. Mona, baby, it's no lie. Without your loving, I surely die. Without your loving, I surely die. Without your loving, I surely die.
All right. Let's play some tunes together. This made me think of Joe Strummer, that tune.
So Ian, I call Ian up and I say, or I write him a text and I say, yeah, what do you say, Winnipeg? Can it happen? You know? He's like, well, it seems to fall into the time of year that you can visit. Seems good. We have a few months till October. It's gonna work. So what do you want to play?
Why don't you tell people about the hippos?
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay.
That's a good one.
I like that. I should play bass on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Cool, I like that. Let's see.
Yeah, I just gotta say, this is a beautiful cast of people here tonight. This is awesome. Thank you for coming out. Very cool. Very cool. I know it's kind of like a blessing in disguise that Vic gets to play a show like this, because we didn't book a big venue for him, but you get this kind of intimate experience. And well, he's kind of guy that like thrives in each situation, but this type of intimate situation is it's so much fun.
I agree. And I don't thrive in all situations. There's many situations that it's like, why is Vic not thriving here? Lots of people are asking that question all around the world. They're going, I don't understand. Well, Vic, what's the matter with you? Why are you not thriving over here? A lot of girls, a lot of different people, you know, jobs, old jobs. We really thought you were going to thrive in the tile department. We really thought that. Assistant beekeeper. We thought you would be thriving here. Instead, you might be allergic.
Oh, wait, am I in tune? I'm bad with bass notes.
Let me tell you, back before tuners, I can talk. That's the one thing I can do. Back before tuners, I was the Slackers tuner. I used to tune everybody's instruments on stage, combat conditions.
How long have the Slackers been around?
The Slackers, well, back then.
Before tuners.
Before tuners. That's right. Almost before tuna fish. No. But before electronic tuners were easy enough to buy for $15 in the music store, they used to be really expensive. It was like only really cool, actually only bass players had them, because, you know, bass being a hard instrument to tune live, you know, because you're trying to hear that note, and you're like, what the hell is that? It's like, I don't know, the truck's driving by, I can't hear the note right, you know? But it's like, yeah, so if you were like a really cool guy in a band that was, you know, like a bass player, you were like the coolest bass player in New York, you'd get this, like, it was like a rack mount. And it had this big, like, long thing. There was like, it looked like, remember, what was that movie with, that TV show with like Knight Rider. It was I was thinking about the one with the robots that were like, zhong, zhong, zhong. Battlestar Galactica, yeah. So it looked like that to me, or Knight Rider for that matter, where it was like, zhong, 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 you know, and you'd be playing the bass, and you'd look back and you'd go like, oh, that's an E. It is in fact an E that I'm playing, you know. But it cost like $500 back then. It was like nobody had a tuner. Yeah. Go figure, right? And now it's like $15. You buy one of those little things you clip to the headstock. It's unbelievable. Life is so fucking easy. And we dare complain about anything. I was talking to this old guy. He's about 70-something years old in New York. And I was complaining about things. And he goes, you shouldn't complain about anything, man. He goes, this is like the best time to be alive ever in the history of humanity. And I was like, what? And he goes like, yeah, man. He goes, look around, man. He's like, you kids, you got it so easy. You got it so easy. And I'm thinking, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Text what good times is, and they'll tell you you're living the good times, man. What a terrible sight we could find to see the center of the earth open wide. Oh, you better tighten up your girth and tell what you heard. Jump like a bird and run to the rocks and hide. Oh, you better tighten up your girth. Tell what you heard. Jump like a bird and run to the rocks and hide. What a terrible sight it could be. To see the hippos walk from the sea, Then you better tighten up your girth. Tell what you heard. Jump like a bird and run to the rocks and hide. Oh Lord, you better tighten up your girth. Tell what you heard. Jump like a bird and run to the rocks and hide. Oh yeah. So we asked Keith in Texas. We said, what the hell is a gird, man? They said, hey, man, it was the 60s. It's a girdle, man. Sometimes you want to go out and dress like Renaissance and stuff like that. And I was like, well, that's heavy, man. I wish I lived in the 60s. I could go out and dress Renaissance. I said, but tell me, more importantly, what about this line about the hippos? And Keith goes, well, the hippos, they don't come from the sea, man. And Tex goes, if you see the hippos coming out of the sea, you better get out of there. What a terrible sight it could be, to see the hippos walk from the sea, Oh, then you better tighten up your girth, tell what you heard, jump like a bird and run to the rocks and hide. Oh Lord, you better tighten up your girth, tell what you heard, jump like a bird and run to the rocks and hide. Oh yeah, I said you better tighten up your girth. I said tell what you heard, tighten up your girth. Reggae sounds. Look out for the hippos. That's right. There's heavy stuff you discover playing reggae. A lot of heavy things. You know, not just to mention psychedelic clothing and the truth about hippos. When you play reggae, you start to get biblical. You know, you listen to Prince Buster. And you listen to like all these like crazy like mystical reggae cats, and they're talking about stuff. You're like, what are you talking about? I better start reading the Bible. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on. I better like, what the hell's going on? Let me learn some of this shit. You know? I mean, I went to Catholic school, so I got some creepy mysticism that comes along with me. You know, it's there. I go into like churches that have like human skulls and bones and stuff. You know, it's like that's Catholics. You know, we're like that. Yeah, Catholics were weird. I remember one of the guys in my band, he grew up like nothing. He grew up like atheist, and we go into this church, and it's like that. He's like, what is going on here? Why are there bones everywhere? And I'm like, oh, those are the bones of the like saints and martyrs and stuff like that. He's like, what are these statues? These statues are really weird. Like, what, is that like the saint that of saws? I'm like, no. The reason that saint's holding a saw is because it means he was like sawed to death. He's like, yo, man, this is like voodoo or something like that. And I thought, no, man, it's Catholicism. It's like, this is like straight, Like, wait, there's nothing weird about this. Is there anything weird about this? It's like, oh yeah, that's the saint, not the saint of bowling balls. That's the guy who was bowled to death. Come on, everybody knows this. Anyway. All right, you must be good. Sure. Do you want to play guitar or you play bass on this? You play bass on this. I feel like you have the bass part on this. Okay. And me, I don't, actually. So I went back to my Bible roots. And I was like, well, if Prince Buster can sing about it, I can sing about it. Let's see. What key we doing? F? Or E?
A, did you want to do?
A, right. Cool. And I figure I can do Slackers songs here. Because the Slackers never come to Winnipeg, so. If you guys want to hear Slackers songs, just ask. For sure, Okay, we can do that next. Yeah, and you're going to play bass on it. Ha-ha! Like that. Let's see. Is that how it starts?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. be good, so that you can sleep at night. And you must be good, so that your mama can hold you tight. And you can't be bad, or the devil come lick you up. Hey, you must be good, don't let him trick you. Oh, every day, tempted by temptation, and every night by another situation. But you must be wise and recognize all the devil come pull you down in a girlish disguise. So you must be good, so that you can sleep at night. And you must be good, so that your mama can hold you tight. And you can't be bad, or the devil come lick you up. Hey, you must be good, no, don't let him trick you. And envy, Lord, these sins are deadly. Greed and vanity now, you know they hurt a good man plenty. But you must take care now and beware in your youthful insobriety. Your cup may be full now, but in the end it will be empty. So you must be good, that you can sleep at night. And you must be good, so that your mama can hold you tight. And you can't be bad, or the devil come lick you up. Hey, you must be good, no, don't let him trick you. I say you must be good, no, don't let him trick you. You must be good, you must be good, you must be good. I say you must be, I beg you must be good. I say your mama said, and then your papa said, everybody wish you would. I said that you must be good. I controlled myself. We could have played that for like 3 years. That's the kind of. You think you can fake the nurse?
I don't.
Yeah? It's a little bit weird. Something has taught me.
An E.
And say it was an E.
Okay. I'll get it.
Yeah, calming. So it's like 1, 5, 4, 1. And then the third time around it goes 1, 3, 4.
Alright, yeah, I think I'll get it.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Now that we gave it all away.
Yeah, we gave it. Now you guys know the chords to the nurse.
They're taking notes.
The magic is gone. has rolled me. God is a commie, sweet Jesus told me. He says if you lost him, to please send a basket and fire your muskets over my casket. And roll out the stretcher, make me feel better for what is bad. Don't be glad for what is worse. I'm the nurse. Now baby, don't you give me your words of sweet whiskey. Your southern drawl crawling over me quickly. See, I've been lied to, I've been laughed at, I've been cried to, but I'll no longer be twisted and tied to. So roll out the stretcher, make me feel better for what is bad. Don't be glad for what is worse. I'm the nurse. Well, now, sweet road out yonder, Lord knows I have gone her. So don't teach me no lesson, and baby, just call me if you wanna. Sweet horse, I have implored to lay me some wisdom. They say know what you wanted, just ask and you'll receive them. Roll out that stretcher, make me feel better for what is bad. Don't be glad for what is worse. I'm the nurse. Oh, for what is bad. Don't be glad for what is worse. I'm the nurse. Oh, baby, for what is bad. Don't you be glad for what is worse. I'm the nurse.
That's right. Good. Are you good? You tell me. You tell me. Yeah, wait, we can play that.
All right.
You got the bass part, I know. You know half the words? I know most of the words.
Not with the bass.
Yeah, oh, it's okay. I got it then. Boom, 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 boom. What can you do?
Yeah, right there, yeah.
Kick out your front door. Tell me how you're gonna come. With your hands on your hip, I'm gonna trigger up your gun. When the law break in, how you gonna go? Shot down on the pavement, all waiting in death row. They can't cut us, they can't bruise us, but they have to answer to the guns of Brixton. Your money, it feels good, and your life, you like it well. surely the day will come, be it heaven, be it hell. Today is like Ivan, caught under the Brixton sun. This game is called surviving, like the end of the harder they come. But they show him no mercy, they caught him with a gun. Goodbye to the Black Mariah, goodbye to the Brixton sun. You can't cut us, you can't bruise us, you can't even shoot us. But the guns of Brixton, the guns of Brixton, the guns of Brixton. I said, the guns of Brixton.
Oh my God. That was like in the middle of that tune. I was like, should I do a dub break to kill this mosquito that's on my elbow? I'm like, dub it. Oh yeah.
Where are you tonight, my love? This I'm asking to the stars up above. When will you be coming home? 'Cause I'm afraid to be alone. Long before we met that summer, I was sure I would never love another. Now I know I was wrong, so wrong. Baby, why you gone so long? Come back, baby. Come back, baby. Come back, baby. The joke is done. Come on home. Distance make a heart go finder. Baby, you don't have to wonder. So make me say those 3 words. My head is heavy, you know my heart is all a pain. And I fear that this feeling will remain. Go to sleep now, I pray you'll find no harm. Baby, I dream you're in my arms. I'll keep asking you, come back, baby. Come back, right, baby. The joke is done. Now come on home. Distance make a heart grow fonder. Baby, you don't have to wander to make me say those 3 words. To make me say those 3 words. Oh no, 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 to make me say those 3 words. I know the world doesn't know me as a guitar soloist, so don't tell anyone, okay? Just between us. All right, yeah, give it up for Ian over here, and please thank Ian for being my solid, you know, my right hand man over here in Winnipeg. He's the Winnipeg connection, you know. You guys heard of that movie? Forget about the French Connection, you know, the Winnipeg connection. He's a thriving character. Keep him away from me. Keep him away from me. Keep him away. I love you, sir. That's okay. We're going to work on that. That's after the gig. That's what I'm learning in Canada. You know, it's a loving place. Now, see, in New York, White Plains, New York, I used to work in this hot dog joint after school. And there was this girl, and she came up and she was like, "Why don't you walk me home?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to walk you home." And then later when I got a car, she's like, "Why don't you drive me home?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm going to drive you home." But what happened? She didn't want me. No. She had this angry ex-boyfriend. She was just trying to make him jealous. And I was like, this doesn't happen. Does this happen in life? This is my first experience with things like this. I didn't know to be suspicious. They ruined me. Keep him away from me. Keep him away from me. Keep him away from me. Is what she says, and that was all. I knew her so briefly. I knew her so briefly. Keep him away from me. And when she says it, she points at me. Man, I don't know what it's supposed to mean. I took her out on Friday night. We had no problem, we had no fight. I figure everything's alright. Whoa, it's me. Whoa, it's me. Keep him away from me. Man, this ain't no point to disagree. I knew her so briefly. I knew her so briefly. Keep him away from me. when she says that she points at me. You know I seen her old boyfriend come along. He's 6'3", mighty strong. He got and punched me in my eye, and I'm not understanding why. Whoa, oh, 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 it's me. Whoa, oh, 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 it's me. Keep him away from me. I said keep him away from me. I said keep him away. This ain't no point to disagree. Hard lessons in life, hard lessons. Huh? I know. Sabina, really? I never played that one, but I can do it. Yeah, this is off that record we were talking about, with the record about the guy from Iraq. This guy went to the Iraq War, and he came home with all these crazy poems and songs and stories. And he told me this story about this girl, and I said, damn, I said, man, you should write a song about this. And so, needless to say, Sabina came from Texas with a scar across her cheek. A razor blade had cut right through it. She didn't talk about it, yeah, but it was understood that it had been done by a man she once loved. What an awful thing to do, man, when she looked at you. There was a sadness in her eyes. Really made you wonder how someone could be so cruel, cut so deep into someone so nice. Well, Sabina, how could it be so cruel? Sabina, what becomes of you? Well, Sabina, she made up her mind. She said, no, never again. But where's a girl go to get away from a man like that? She didn't have much school. No, she's just your basic kind of girl from a simple little town with a monster in the woods. Well, the kids were grown. She sold the home. She wasn't coming back. She heard about a job in the middle of a war in a kitchen in Iraq. Before she left, he called to say, he said, war's no place for you, you better stay. I wouldn't walk away from me if you know what's good for you. No, she said, this is goodbye. And by the way, I hope you die. I can't see anything being worse than being with you. Well, Sabina, what else could you do? Sabina, what becomes of you? Sabina got an army now that treats her with respect. She takes her to a dining hall in the middle of Iraq. And the men who work for her, they're like a little row of ducks that form in lines behind her. Well, Sabina, what else could you do? Sabina, what becomes of you? desert now, looking up at the stars. She's not afraid of anything anymore, not even of the bombs. Oh. 86 de Mayo, yeah? I like it. I like your choices of songs. Let's see. When all your good intentions just leave you feeling old, and your latest inventions have all left you feeling cold, well, it's then the gypsy says, come on over, have no fear. She said, Daddy died last year, I wish he were here. All my grand ambitions are doing what they're told. Down at the bottom of the river, where the old white fingers scold. They say the women dug this river, they killed it with their tears. Well, Daddy died last year, and I wish he were here. Well, if you wanna see me, I'm at the bottom of the stairs. It's the place where no one looks for me, it's the place where no one dares. And if you think time's been changing, well, it's anywhere but here. Daddy died last year, and I wish he were here. Leaving New York City, man, it's all been filled with rich little mamas from the country that make my earlobes itch. And the Morse code of my fingers is tapping as they twitch. Says Daddy died last year, I wish he were here. So the lawyers all come bleeding me with Papa's old harpoon. They hold it in a glove made of his barren woman's womb. Well, she says she wants my bones to decorate his tomb. Daddy died last year, I wish he were here. I said, Daddy died last year, I wish he were here. You know, Daddy died last year, and I wish he were here. All right. Well, how am I doing? That's our old mayor of New York used to say that. How am I doing?
My wife neatly. Married girls, and that concerns me.
Oh yeah, you'd like to hear it. Oh man, let me tell you. So we had married girl and what?
Neatly.
And neatly. Oh, good idea. Oh yes, good ideas. Well, from the sounds of it, we have the next 3 songs figured out.
I don't know how long I can play. You just give me the sign, whoever the boss is over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, the cop says it's time to go. All right. Let's see here. I like the meme that showed up today, that one. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. She called me up on the slide. She said, please don't tell all your friends, because they might tell my husband. Then you know I'll never see you. You know I probably wanna beat you, and I'm sure he would beat me too. So I called you on the slide. Please don't ask, 'cause you know why. Baby, I won't lie and say I like the way you talk at me. It's more something like in the way you gawk at me. So I'll see you at 6:30. No, I told her only trouble. Yeah, but that just made it double. More intriguing than our conversation. I said I'll meet you at the station. Still I couldn't help but think, as I drank my beer to meet her. So what the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I gonna say? Like, married girl, don't you wanna smoke a little marijuana? Take some time and have a drink, and think about what you're gonna do to me. Married girl, ain't you worried if our love is kinda hurried, that you'll be left wanting more in the time after your man has murdered me? Now, baby, when I saw you, you were just you were this redhead girlfriend of my friend. I was just flirting with you. I didn't mean nothing. I was just practicing. I was just saying nice things to pretty girls. That's all I was doing. I didn't want to get in no trouble. We threw your husband in the river. You know, it makes me kind of shiver. We sent flowers to his mother, all so we could see each other. It lasted for about 3 weeks, and now we don't even speak. So I'm sitting here alone, and I'm sitting on the phone. Married girl, don't you wanna smoke a little marijuana? Take some time and have a drink, and think about what you're gonna do to me. Married girl, ain't you worried if our love is kinda hurried, that you'll be left wanting more in the time after your man has murdered me, that you'll be left wanting more in the time after your man has murdered me, that you'll be left wanting more in the time after your man has murdered me. You like that song a little too much. A little too much. I worry about this guy. Vacant Stare. Yes, we got Vacant Stare neatly. All right. I haven't played much rollicking rock and roll yet today, so really, it seems like I should. Might have met her on a disco scene. We talked in theater in a field of green. It was then I knew she was my kind of person. I drove her home, she told me it was fun. She made me promise not to tell no one. But we were so drunk and the whole world had seen us. And it was then I knew I'd never love her, but I'd always be with her. There in the sunlight, she could always bewilder. Eyes like an angel and a head like a sinner. She's the one for me, who takes the place of love so neatly. I might have read in a magazine back when I was about sweet 16. But whoever thought that you ever could live it? Her eyes are sexy and her mouth is mean. She could be 65 or 17. Baby, you name a job, man, she would give it. It was then I knew I'd never love her, but I'd always be with her. There in the sunlight, she could always deliver. Eyes like an angel and a head like a sinner. She's the one for me, who takes the place of love so neatly. Who would have thought I'd be so plain to see? She could live a life so young and free. Baby, I guess she does when no one is looking. And when I'm talking sweet and looking down, she puts a little fist in my mouth. She said, baby, you plow the fields, I'll do the cooking. And it was then I knew I'd never love her, but I'd always be with her. As long as I knew her, she could always bewilder. Eyes like an angel and a head like a sinner. She's the one for me, who takes the place of love so neatly. All right. Waited long when there was no one there for me. I held your hand down there where no one else could see. I kissed your lips and with mine swore I'd always be there for your vacant stare. When I said these words, I thought you may have wept. Dreaming was the only reason that I slept. Boredom was the only company I kept, except for your vacant stare. Thanks, but I'm aware of all the things I'm not. Thanks for the television memories I got. Suffice to say our chemistry was simply hot air and your vacant stare. So accepting evil is just as it does. I promised I'd be all I could be just because. Though I looked as hard, I found the cupboard was bare before your vacant stare. before your vacant stare, before your vacant stare. Okay, these are the big hits, these ones, you know? These are the ones everybody was asking for. Well, there's a house on the corner that's yellow. Nobody lives inside. I think somebody tried to sell it, but nobody wanted to buy. In comes mean old winter, in comes Father Time, in comes bad old summer, and nothing else here rhymes, because the animals run the house. Animals run the house. Animals run the house. I said animals run the house. Ah, yes, I know these sounds. The sounds of the suburbs. I know you. But when my sister said, go look at that house across the street. It looks like nobody's mowed the grass for weeks and weeks. I said, well, I don't know if it's my business, but I walked across the street. The postman said, I'm leaving. As I got closer to the house, I swear, like I heard somebody screaming. Ooh, 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 ooh. I got closer up the stairs. I thought, I don't know, man. I said, it looks kind of weird in there. I don't think I should go in. I think that the animals run the house. What if the animals run the house? Animals run the house. I think the animals run the house. I put my ear up against the door, and I thought I heard little scratchy noises like... I peered in through the window, and I saw these little eyes looking back at me. And I thought to myself, no, Vic, don't go in there. Curiosity kills the cat. Come on, you ain't a cat, Vic. But there was this little voice inside my head, and it kept saying things like, go ahead, man. Open up that door, take a look inside. And I was like, okay. I was like, but that voice sounds suspiciously like Jim Morrison, and I don't know if I should take advice from such dubious characters. But I opened up that door. This is what I saw. There were spiders on the wall, worms on the floor, a squirrel on a TV set. Down the hall I could see there was more. There was a big old snake in the closet and an old dog sleeping in the bed. And when I looked around the corner, I saw a big bullfrog in the head. I saw a big bullfrog in the head. A big bullfrog in the head. And I said, oh, a bullfrog. What are you doing over here? There's no bullfrogs up around here. Bullfrog looked at me with these funny yellow eyes in the darkness and said, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. And I said, ribbit? What the hell's ribbit? And he said, dig it, dig it, dig it. And I was like, okay, I can dig it. I was like, what's going on here, frog? What are you doing here? The frog said, come in, dog and mouse. Come in, cat and monkey. It may seem unclean, may seem unresolved and funky. You may feel kind of weird, he said. You may feel all wrong here. You man, if you do, well, that's cause you don't belong here. You see, the animals run the house. Animals run the house. He said, the animals run the house. He said, the animals run the house. Ribbit, ribbit. Dig it, dig it. I was like, okay, I'm out of here, frog. Don't worry about it. I backed up. And as I backed up, I backed into something really, poof, in the darkness. It was big. It had a big wet nose. It was like, And I said, oh no, what the hell is that? I never seen anything like this. I got down, I went in the other direction, I like tripped over this angry sheep in the dark. What's going on? I started crawling on the floor, I was surrounded. Gorilla chickens. What am I doing here? I said, look, animals. I said, you don't understand. I'm just a curious animal myself. Skeptical. They were all skeptics. I told the cow, I said, look, I don't drink dairy. I don't go to McDonald's. I went for the window, but there was my old cat in the window. Didn't like me at all. I said, animals, don't you understand? I'm just an animal myself. I'm not like those other humans. I'm not coming over here to see if I can build condominiums or luxury apartments. I don't think that we need any more luxury apartments. The animals were like, they like that. I said, animals, if anything, I like you better than the other humans out there. Other humans, they're looking at me funny. At least you guys, you're just looking at me like another animal that's gonna fuck things up. You're not judging me because of the shirt I wear or the shoes I'm wearing. You're not asking me like if I go to church or who I vote for. You don't care what neighborhood I live in. You don't want to know who my girlfriend is or my boyfriend or... You're just looking at me going... You're just going, please. Please don't build luxury apartments here. I know luxury apartments make me feel that way too. And so, us and the animals, we started to have a conversation. It was like, I said, yeah, I dig what you're saying. They said, I said, yeah, I know what you're putting down. I said, hey, chicken, come over here. I got a question for you. And the chicken says, and I said, chicken, I can speak a little of your language. Let's do this, all right? I said, and the chicken really appreciated my attempt to speak the language. I took a little in high school, took a little chicken in high school. I only really know how to ask where the library is, but people, I know that you didn't need to go study horse or cow or chicken in high school to speak a little bit of the animal that is inside of you, because I know that deep down, if you look, it ain't far underground. There's a little bit of animal in you, right? You feel it. I hear you. Come on, animals. Let's talk. Yeah. I say the animals run the house. 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 You know the animals run the house. Come on. Animals run. Animals. Animals run. Animals run the house. Animals. Come on, everybody. Animals run the house. 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 Animals. Animals run. Animals run the house. Ooh. Yeah. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Richard. You guys really wear me out. Thank you very much. You're a beautiful, captive audience. It's been nice to keep you captive for a couple of hours. What can I say? All right, I got a little bit more merch over there. I'm going to go get something to drink. Maybe, who knows what happens next? Who knows? All right.